So welcome everyone. Luana and I are going to introduce ourselves and then we'll share what the evening has in store. And thank you very much for being here. I'm Lisa Pyron and I work at Kiwanis International with K-Kids. And I've been with the organization for a while and just really, I'm your support person. I really love what I do. It's inspiring to be with all the advisors, and I'm here to support Luana and I kind of work together on some projects. And Luana, why don't you say hello and introduce yourself?
Thanks, Lisa. I'm Luana Nissan. I am the programs manager for K-Kids Builders Club and Action Club, and I work with Lisa. I've been with Kiwanis for less than a year, but have been in the youth service, youth leadership, and youth philanthropy fields for about 27 years. So I've been a community service director, community service and service learning director in 2 different schools, and a consultant to help schools and nonprofit organizations develop resources and programs for youth civic engagement. So I'm really excited to be here with you and see that there are probably a number of both faculty advisors and Kiwanis advisors maybe with us. Now, I may ask you to raise your hands, try to get a sense of that when we're in our groups. But if I can share with you what's happening tonight, if you all can go ahead and turn on your video, unless you're absolutely not able to, we are going to spend time in small groups talking. So talking with one another. So here's what's happening this evening. Unlike the other sessions where we had information for you, we wanted to provide an opportunity for you to gather around a virtual table and share some things about your experiences this year and to hear from one another. So we're actually going to do 2 breakout sessions. And if there's anyone who's not familiar with how breakout rooms work, then please let us know. Lisa and I will actually be joining you in the breakout rooms, but we're there only to listen. So we're not facilitating them. We would ask that 1 or 2 of you actually lead in those sessions and maybe take notes. So we're going to spend about 10 to 12 minutes in each breakout room. And we'll have 2 questions for each session. We will provide those questions to you now and ask that a few folks write down what I'm about to pose to you. And that during the room, those people who are being note takers share those questions. Lisa and I will provide we'll be timekeepers. So we'll let you know when we're about a quarter of the way through so that folks can kind of all participate. So to that point, if you can make sure to keep kind of your comments brief until everyone's kind of who has wanted to share is able to share, that would be great. So halfway through your 12 minutes, we'll switch to the second question, and we have the questions. We can go ahead and read those to you if you don't have a note taker in your group that wrote them down. But if you'd like to write down the questions now, the first breakout session, the first question is, what was a highly meaningful service project for your members? So what was a meaningful service project for your members this year? And then what partnerships did you find most beneficial both to the club and to the partnering organization? And when we're talking about partners, we don't mean you're sponsoring Kiwanis Club. We mean service partners. So what was a service partnership that you found really beneficial both to your club, but also the partnership benefited the partnering organization? Okay, so those are the 2 questions, and we hope that you share. There are quite a few folks who've been doing this a long time, and probably some who haven't. So, and there are DAs on the call as well. You may have been in other roles before, may have been an advisor, and maybe you're here just to listen. But we're excited to have you break out into rooms and share. And then when we come back together, we will ask for a note taker to share some of what your group talked about. So does that sound good to everyone? Anyone have any questions? Okay, I'm going to send you into your rooms now. Thanks for joining us. On your screen, there will be a message that pops up and you have to click yes to join, okay? Lisa, which one are you joining?
I guess I'll join. You want me to join one? I'll join one.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So I've got a timer. I thought I would start just time about, let's see, 5 minutes.
So the very first question is, what project was highly meaningful for your group this year? Well, I'll go ahead and start. We're in the midst of one right now. I don't know if it's the most perhaps it's the most personal. We actually had a refugee family from Ukraine, and they haven't lived in the United States for very long. And they came to a K-Kids meeting, and there were 4 children under 11. And they left Ukraine, and in the rearview mirror, they could see the tanks coming into their country. It was really, really tight. So they did that presentation. And so right now what we're doing is we're collecting money for Ukraine. And we're going to give it to that family, because when we gave money to that family, when they actually visited, they said, well, this is really nice, but we have clothes on our back and we have a job. And so we would like to send it to Ukraine, to those people who need it. And so the money that we're gathering is not going to necessarily be for this family. In fact, most likely not, but it will go to people back in Ukraine. So that's our little activity right now.
Wonderful.
This is Jack from Columbia, Missouri. Our Benton STEM Elementary K-Kids is so popular that every single kid in 4th and 5th grade wants to be in K-Kids. It's impossible to handle that many. So we usually, the advisor keeps it to 35, maybe 40 at the most, and she has a waiting list. If somebody drops out or misbehaves, she adds them. I would say the biggest thing that we did this year, which was we were able to do now that COVID is over, is the K-Kids marched in the holiday parade down Main and down Broadway in Columbia, Missouri, and they handed out actually candy to all the kids lining the street. It was an amazing event.
Nice. That's good.
They all wore their K-Kid shirts, and, and there were several adult Kiwanis members with them.
Oh,
I think we had 15 kids did that, maybe 20. The other thing I'm going to go ahead and mention is we have the K-Kids help us bus tables and work at the pancake breakfast every year that all three clubs in Columbia, Missouri put together. Well, this year we had 17 K-Kids with their shirts on, working the pancake. We have a fixins table where kids can go over and put blueberries and whipped cream and all that stuff on their pancakes, and they bust the tables and they, clean the tables and just they did everything. I mean, they were all over that place. So it was that was a real good community event. But
Yeah.
they were doing that for all three of the clubs in Columbia.
Oh, that's
They
wonderful.
have aprons too that we've got for them.
Oh, I bet they love that.
Little yellow aprons that are K-Kids, that are Kiwanis on them.
Okay, let's see. We're about 5 minutes and 52 seconds. So we may want to, if anyone else wants to comment, we might want to move on to the next question.
The second question was, what was the service partnership that benefited from one of your projects this year?
I'm Jan Clark from Western North Carolina. And one of the projects, it kind of answers both of these questions. We partnered with our honor flight of Western North Carolina, and we were able to partner with them and collect enough money to send a veteran to Washington, D.C. on the honor flight to be able to go and visit the memorials. And then we were able to go to the Asheville Regional Airport and actually welcome those veterans back home. And we also had a Veterans Day program at our school, but we also had veterans that came and spoke, including some of our local Kiwanians. So that was a really nice group to be able to reach out to in our community, and for the children to be able to go to the airport to welcome those veterans home.
Wonderful.
That's lovely.
That's good.
And it looks like Mike Hipple has his hand up. Mike?
Was the members made dominoes out of cereal boxes, and they took, I believe it was second place.
Dominoes out of cereal boxes.
Am I able to do a share screen?
Oh, let's see. Can you? Let's see. Who's that? Tammy, are you asking? Who's
Yes.
asking? Let's
Yes,
see if I
Tammy.
can. One participant. Yeah, one participant can share a screen at a time. So see if you should be able to.
It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, it's sharing options. What is share? Let's see. Most only all participants. Okay, see if
Yes,
you
there
can
it goes.
now.
And don't mind my desktop if I show my desktop. But here's at the end of the year, I usually put a slideshow for the kids, but this is them over when they came back from from winter break. They actually raised money. Half of the money went towards their future service projects. Pretty much it's like all the money will go towards their future projects. So they sold roses, and then with the money that they got, we actually made hygiene kits and we donated that. This is the first time that we did it. So I'm hoping, and honestly, they were very, very grateful for it. Honestly, when I spoke with the person there, they would love to collaborate with us on other projects. So I think one of the ones that we will do next time is maybe get more information and seeing what the need in our community is and have them do it. So I think this was a great starting point for us. I know we don't have a deep relationship with them yet, but I'm hoping that we can actually do that with them.
Wonderful. Very needed project as well. And Mike, we heard just a little bit of what you were saying. I don't know if you want to start and share again for a moment. Tell me when you're ready, because we got the tip end.
Hmm.
Was the members made dominoes out of cereal boxes, and they took, I believe it was second place.
Okay. Thank you. That's kind of
Can I
exciting.
share?
Sure, Jim.
Hi, I'm Jim. I'm with the Bear Mountain Elementary K-Kids, and kind of would to answer both. We have a relationship with one of the convalescent homes in our area, and our kids collect socks and blankets for the seniors. And because of COVID, we haven't been able to deliver last 2 years, so it's their first time to be out and visit the folks at the convalescent home and pass out the socks and the blankets, and the kids love it, and the adults love it because they don't really had anybody in the past 2 years come and visit except for families. So it was a great time to see that the seniors and the kids were able to relate to one another, talk to one another, and just had a really good time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Anyone else? And it looks like we're coming close to, we'll see. It says here we've got just a few seconds before we go back to as a group, but I'm not.
I'll just share one more thing, and that is that we partnered with the Salvation Army, and the kids rang the bell one night at Christmas and sang Christmas carols, which was very sweet. And of course, they were so cute. They made a lot of money for Salvation Army that night.
Good. Real good.
Well, it does seem to make a difference having a good partner to work with, doesn't it? You know, someone that, can really reach out to the community and helps the students see different perspectives. And, and then I don't know if you want to share any more about any other types of service projects that the kids enjoyed.
We do one for the staff at our school. We do something called You Make a Difference. So what we do is our group, our K-Kids nominate staff members, whether they're teachers or, just staff people, classified staff. And what we do is we kind of like surprise them a little bit. We kind of say, oh, we'd like for you to come to our meeting as a guest speaker. So they come. And we ask them to like tell us about their life stories and stuff like that. And then I go up there with the president and we say, well, the real reason why you're here today is because we came to honor you because you really make a difference at our school. And we give them a certificate, and then we give them a medal that says you make a difference. And we recognize at least 4 staff members every month.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a great idea.
Yeah.
Because, so much, I feel like, I know when I was an advisor to a K-Kids club, and the custodians helped us so much.
Right.
And so we had honored our custodians for, getting us in the building, and they were always wonderful with snacks and just everything clean. We tried to clean up the room, but they would oftentimes do that afterwards. And
so the kids would make a nomination, like a little form, and then they would read it. And if it was like one of our staff members, Mr. Hudson, one of the kids or 2 of the kids would come up and read what they wrote, why they nominated this person. And it really, chokes up the staff because they're like, oh, they really notice stuff like that. And we do.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's why we say that they make a difference.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And I know that our students would help with recycling and picking up all the recycling from the different rooms. And the teachers just so appreciated it because that was just something extra that they had to do. And they had so much help with it that they didn't have to worry about getting that one thing done during the part of the day. Right. And so they really appreciated the K-Kids for doing that.
Our K-Kids rotated through many jobs at their school, including all the normal things, but they also put the flag up in the morning and took it down. They helped the kindergartners eat breakfast in the morning, open their milk for them and that kind of stuff. They also took care of the chickens that we have. And what was the other thing? Anyway, they did all the usual recycling. They did composting. They did cleanup. They did note running from the main office. They rotated these jobs periodically every few weeks, and they all had a job and they were all excited to do it. It built a lot of a sense of responsibility in them. They really felt like they were important, and they were trying to be
Awesome.
role models for the rest of the students.
Yeah, good sense of
Awesome.
purpose. Well, let's see. I'm thinking let me check in with Luana here because I think we're past. Are you back in the common room? Let's leave the room and go back to the common room because it looks like it did not take us back and cancel it our 10 minutes. So I'm going to hit, does everyone have an option for leaving the room and going back, or do you see anything?
Yes, I'm.
Okay, let's all
I don't
leave
see-
the room and go back to the common room. Leave breakout room. Okay, we're back. Sorry, we went a little over there, Luana.
Yeah, we did too. I think we're about all back, aren't we?
I believe so.
Yes. Okay. So Lisa, you want to take over?
Sure. So, let's see. Does anyone from our group want to share? Did anyone take notes, or would you like me to share what we kind of discussed?
I took notes.
Okay, Carol, why don't you share what we talked about? Our first question and
Well, I found this very informative and I really appreciated those who shared. So raising money for a cause. In one case, they raised money for Ukraine people. Another one is they raised money for future projects to pay for their own future projects. They participated in a Christmas parade, which I think is such a good idea. And they handed out candy to the children along the parade route. This one was moving. They got to send a veteran to participate in the honor flight to go to Washington, D.C. And then went to the airport and met the veteran when the person returned, which I thought was very dear. Creating hygiene kits for homeless, socks and blankets for the seniors at the convalescent house, honoring staff members with a certificate and a student actually expressing why that person was nominated in the first place. And this one school does that. 4 staff members per month. Recycling, putting the flag up and down, helping the kindergartners at breakfast time, and delivering notes. No wonder those kids that position is coveted at that school because they've got some great jobs amongst the student body. That was it.
oh, and then partnerships, some of the partnerships, well, I guess you'd mentioned that too, working with an organization, Coalition for the Homelessness, I guess with the Seniors Salvation Army. Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone? Those are just some of the organizations partners that were mentioned. And that's it. We had a good discussion. And how about group number 2? Who's going to be speaking for group number 2?
Did we have anyone take notes in our group? would like to share?
I kind of took notes. Well, I talked about our K-Kids doing the Thirst Project. They collected over $500 worth of dimes to go to the Thirst Project. I also, we had, I'm gonna get this wrong. Was it Chuck a Duck? Did I get that right, Al? Chuck a Duck. And one of them, Lee Smith, because I don't know everybody here yet. We also had Eggs for Cradle. Is that right, Al? Is that, if you want to elaborate, I just wrote down these these words. So I think Lee Smith said something about Safe Light. They donate for victims of domestic violence. I think they do like shampoos and little things that they can take with them during the night when they have to leave their home or something like that. Also, Lisa did Shoes and Socks, the Quarter Act. I talked about the what's the word, partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, and also we have some partnerships with some assisted living facilities here. That's just like locally for me. I should have had my whole list stuff done for the district, but I don't have that handy. I'll send it to you guys so you can see it.
Al, would you like to elaborate on a couple of those items?
Yeah, the Chuck a Duck program was Johnson Elementary School. Some of the students at Johnson were involved in the VEX robotics competition this year and were successful enough to make it to the worldwide competition in Dallas, which is a pretty good hike from Southern Indiana. So several of the student groups and parents helped raise money to send the kids to Dallas for the competition. The K-Kids Club decided to do the Chuck a Duck, have a pool that they put in the middle of the gym floor and sell rubber ducks to the students for $1 a piece. And they get a chance to try to get the duck into the water in the pool and then get prizes for the ones that make it. But they raised over $500 to help support the robotics team. The other one was Lexington Elementary School, supporting Cradle, our pregnancy resource center here in town. They did a project, Cradle's been doing it for several years now, where they egg your yard for Easter. You can sign up to have Easter eggs hidden in your yard the day before, and it's a donation to Cradle, but they need donations of eggs and candy and stuff to put in the eggs. So the kids at Lexington actually collected over 5,000 eggs to donate to Cradle for the Egg Your Yard project. Really good partnership with the K-Kids and Cradle.
And we had just one other project. Leanne Merrill shared that their new club held a school-wide peanut butter drive for the food bank, and the food bank was really happy because they need peanut butter. So that's another example. And I think we talked about different partnerships in the examples that Gina and Al gave. All right. Anyone have any more comments about what you discussed? Or thoughts? Are we ready to move on to our next breakout? Okay, so in our next breakout, we want to focus on learning. I think what you will see when you, I'll just mention this, we're working on new K-Kids materials for this coming year. And I think what you'll see is the same thing that that Builders Club advisors saw in the new Builders Club materials that they received last year, that we are leaning into learning, and you'll see a little bit more messaging around learning. And we've added that to our service leadership model. that service leadership in our service leadership programs is about learning, engaging, serving, and leading, kind of in that progression. And so in honor of that, we're going to ask you to talk about with each other what your members learned this year. What did your members learn through their K-Kids experiences? And what did you learn as an advisor? So those two questions. So here we go.
Question.
Yes.
Convention, do you have any time to discuss what is coming next time and just to chat?
Oh, yes, afterwards, certainly. Okay. You can give me just a minute. I'm gonna move us around just a little bit. Okay. Here we go.
And Luana, where would you like me? Room 1 or 2? Well, let's see. I'm trying to figure out where Luana went. So I go, oh, I guess I go to the first one then. Okay, I'm joining 1. Yes. Well, I think we have the same group. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to start timing. Let's see, start. Oops, wait a minute. Hold on. That didn't work. Timer, I'm going to go for 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. So I'm starting to time it now. And so what did your members learn? And I'll take notes, but if someone else should probably take notes and present. Carol, you're wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So you're a note taker.
Before we start, she said that the emphasis this next year is on learning, engaging, and what else?
Let's see. It's learning, engaging, leading, and
Leading.
leadership. Yeah. I
Okay.
had to think for a minute. She's done a remarkable job looking at our curriculum and modifying, taking what really works and what's working well, but adding to it, and just more robust resources. I think you're going to love it, hopefully. But you never know. We've got a survey before and hear where people are, and then survey again after, right? So we'll get feedback, and if things need to be changed, we change it up. So, we've been doing a lot of surveys of both the advisors and of the members. So watch for those notifications about asking for your input. But with that, what did your members learn?
Well, I think that one of the big things that our members learned, especially the board, is that they have a voice. And I so appreciated that for the kids. Our president started off by pulling the group together, and finally in a board meeting, a couple of board meetings later, the sergeant of arms said, that is really my job. And our president is a boy who's, pretty present. And then this girl who's a year younger, and she said, that's really my job. And I would like to have that job. And he kind of objected for a little bit, but she spoke up and gave her argument, and she continued to do that. And I kept noticing that the kids felt like if they spoke up, they would be heard and honored. And what I learned, and this is counter to what you're doing at your central place. You're talking about the curriculum that you're sending us.
Mm-hmm.
I did not find that helpful at all, nor did my teacher advisor. And she's been doing this for over 10 years.
Mhm.
But what I learned is that, and I would agree with our teacher advisor, that when the children were actively involved in a project, they were doing, and they were able to sit and chat at the same time and have some fun, but doing the project all together. That was when they were most engaged and most enjoying K-Kids. We never used any pencil paper, and I would not have wanted to.
Mhm. Anyone else want to talk about what their K-Kids learned?
I think one of the things for, oh, does somebody else want to go? I'm sorry if I interrupted.
You're good.
Oh,
In
okay.
our
So
club,
one of
he
the
had
things,
someone who had behaviors, and the members were understanding of him and the needs he had.
So they're
Say
more
again.
understanding.
What?
I thought K-Kids
In
have
our
learned to
club,
be,
we had someone who had behaviors, and the members were understanding of him and the needs he had.
so the members were very empathetic and they were able to
Nice.
see from another perspective
Yes.
and welcome that individual as that person is. That's beautiful. We need more of that in the world.
Yeah.
and then the manuals that you guys sent, I honestly haven't been using it for the last 5 years. I found it helpful when I put kids in group. I'm like, all right, draw me a circle map, plan out what you guys want to do this year. Like, just give me some ideas to work with. And then honestly, the hands-on things really help. And then when they are able to see their ideas come to life, we have more buy-in. They are more willing to do things. And a lot of the times when I know it was difficult with COVID, but now that we're slowly able to do hands-on projects outside of school, the kids really had fun. For example, we did Adopt a Highway, and it was just picking up trash off of the street in their community. But the kids had so much fun. They were running around, fighting each other, trying to pick up the trash. So honestly, when it's hands-on and it's something that it's kind of out of the ordinary, even though it's a common thing that people can do, they have fun with it. And it's with a group of people that they enjoy. They love hanging around each other. And I do want to agree with Mike that it did help with behavior as well. Some of the kids, I did let them know, I have a wait list. If you don't behave, then you know what, I'm going to have to talk to your teacher because this is not going to work. If you can't behave in K-Kids, well, I have a whole list. So you need to get your act together and be participating and willing to help. And if they don't, it's okay. I have a list of kids that actually want to be in it and will do the work and everything with us.
Mhm.
I think your circle map where the children are brainstorming and coming to agreement of what they want to be involved in is brilliant. Because then it's really coming from them rather than from the teacher advisor. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
And of course, it's like I give them advice and kind of guide them through it,
Sure.
but at least they can see it's a part of their ideas that they came up with. And if they have a plan that they want to do, for example, this year we did something different for Teacher Appreciation Day. Usually they made like little goodie bags, but then I told them, hey, it doesn't have to be goodie bags. If you plan out something for us to do, and you're taking that budget and you're coming with prices and things to do, then we'll make it happen. So this year, instead of doing little mini like treat bags for them, they're doing a nacho bar. So they planned out, okay, what supplies do we need? How much is it going to cost? Is it within the budget? So they had to come up with that and actually show it to me. I mean, their numbers are off, but you know what? It's the work that they put into and the effort that I'm looking for. And we have the support of our Kiwanis Club, so then that helps.
Mhm.
We didn't use anything that you sent to.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That's what we learn, right? What works and what doesn't work. I was trying to think, our club, I remember, I thought it was interesting when we wanted to promote a project, and you know how they do announcements in the morning? And the kids coming up with the skits and being so creative and doing the posters to promote. So they were advocating for the project they believed in, and so creative. There were no limits. I think I learned from the students to be more open and just go for it. Right? No limitations.
I love that.
Yeah, I feel like adults can learn from kids to be a little more, wow, we can make this happen. It's not impossible. We can do it.
Lisa, sometimes I think the kids get it more than the adults do.
I know. I know.
In the other session, I was talking about our kids did at the K Kids the Thirst Project. And
What
they went.
is that? Thirst Project. What
The
is
Thirst
that?
Project is they raised money to build clean water wells in third world countries. And they made all the posters. What clicked is when you said the morning announcements, the principal every day let them go down to do morning announcements to let everybody know about, the collecting dimes. They made all the posters, and the faculty advisors asked the kids at the beginning of the year what they wanted to do each month. And they were so impacted by the Thirst Project that is like number one on their list. They also they make cards and go and sing to an assisted living facility here. And I was telling the other group that apparently it has made such an impact on the assisted living facility. They actually asked the kids to come back and do another project. So in fact, we're going this week where they made a spring project, and they're going to go over and they're going to present the little artsy crafty things, and they're going to recite poems for them. And I think the kids, if you remember Eliminate, the project, I really think the kids got it a lot more than the adults did. And these kids understand, at least where I am, that, hey, you know what? We have clean water. We don't have to worry about that. And so it really kind of leaves an impression and an impact on them. So, but they do get asked what projects they want to do per month. And the Arbors and the Thirst Project are always the top two.
What is the other project besides
the Arbors is a assisted living facility here in Westfield, Massachusetts. And we walk there because it's not that far, but it's just a good activity. And this is what the kids want to do. They want to make crafts and go over, and they sing like holiday songs and stuff like that. So
they do like that, don't they?
Yeah, they get it.
We did gratitude beads one day, and to say what they're grateful for. And then when they get nervous, they made a bracelet. And then I let them know, when you start to get nervous about a test or doing something, stop and touch the bead. What the first thing you're grateful for, the next thing you're grateful for, and you go to the third one, and it calms the brain. So there's science behind it. When you think of what you're grateful for, the dopamine rushes to the brain and you kind of calm down, and then you can focus. And one of the little boys in K Kids, he kept that bracelet on all year. He used it all year. And I think some of the other youth used it as well, but it was really helpful to at least one of them. It was so nice to hear that. Okay, well, our time limit is up, so we're going to head back to the group and report out. So look for your leave room and go back to the leave breakout room, and I'll see you in the original room. Okay, and I'll let Luana know we're back in the original room.
Lisa, your dog is precious.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, he's good for these. He's good when I'm on conference calls, but the minute you sit down to watch television or talk with a loved one, he just like, oh. It's like Scooby-Doo. He's a Great Dane. You can't tell, but he talks just like, I've never had a Dane that has talked as much as he does. He's a rescue. We've had him for 4 or 5, I guess it's been almost 5 years. Yeah, he was really underweight, and Anyway, we got him. He's doing great now, and he gets along with all the cats. I have too many animals, but they all get along, which is good. Yeah, I think we visited, oh, I guess that was the Builders Club. I wonder how many K kids are doing things at shelters or for shelters. I visited a Builders Club last year. Anna, your group do that?
I'm very proficient in making dog treats.
Are you?
We're gonna do an all-day project at one of my schools, and we have like 250 kids that are gonna be making dog treats. So
Oh.
I'm very proficient at that. But we spread it out through all the different shelters in Cleveland, so it's a blessing. And the
Yeah,
kids love it.
I guess there are some restrictions for working in the shelters for the young students. There are only certain things they can do, but still it's wonderful to see the impact you make on the animals who need homes.
Lisa, we're back.
We're back.
And our note taker was Lisa.
Another Lisa, what a wonderful name.
I know.
Which Lisa? Are we doing group 2 first?
No, you're good. Lisa Stewart, you're going first.
Okay. All right. All right. So we shared lots of examples of what our K kids learned, ranging from learning about recycling and stray animals and school safety and baking to do a bake sale. But they all kind of can be lumped together in the following skills that K kids learn. They learn the steps needed to make a project happen. They learn leadership skills, which include taking the pieces and putting them together, critical thinking skills, growth mindset skills, instead of, oh, well, that bombed, or can't do that, or, the growth mindset says, well, what did we learn, and how can we use what we learned to get over those hurdles? They learned how to own the process. They learned how to problem solve, and they learned decision-making skills to make an event better. But those are just kind of some of the things that we summarized. And then did my group, did I miss anything key that you wanted to make sure that was included?
Where are you from?
Okay, do you see a leave room button anywhere on your screen when you have your
No.
I see a leave room. Lenora, can you hear me here? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I just up the right-hand corner, it says leave, but is that not leave the whole meeting?
It should say leave room. Let me
Oh,
see if I can leave meeting. No, I don't want that. Mine says leave breakout room, leave meeting, in meeting for all. Let's see. Maybe I can do something. Let's see.
There was a little note before that said, little box came up and said to click it to leave the room, but.
Okay, let's see what I can. Breakout rooms. Let's see. Okay, maybe I can do
I
it
never
this
did.
way. Okay, I'm going to move to main session. Okay, I've got you. Move to main session.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Lisa Pyron. And then leave breakout.
So that they, or to share that person, help that person be able to share those skills with other K Kids advisors to build their confidence. So anything else on my team that I missed or I could have said better? Okay, that's group 2.
I took notes, but maybe somebody else took notes and would like to talk. I guess I'm the only one that took notes.
I took some notes, but
Okay. So, I didn't have them separated as the previous report, but learning to speak up and the kids learning to speak up and yeah, can't read my writing. One of the things that Tammy shared is that she gives the kids the opportunity to create a circle map. And on that circle map at the beginning of the school year, the children begin to brainstorm what kinds of projects they want to do. And Tammy, be sure to jump in here if I don't get this correct. And that way she finds that, so they make understandings and agreements of which projects, and she gets a lot more buy-in. One of the projects that they did was adopt a highway. She finds that hands-on projects are much more successful. She also has a little bit of leverage because if she does have a behavior problem, she can say, I have a wait list, so you need to behave better. Other ideas that were brought up were the K Kids creating a skit and posters and advocating something that they want to get done. The Thirst Project, which is creating clean water for third world countries. The kids made posters and they collected dimes. And I believe, Gina, you also said they got on morning announcements.
Yes, they each day, one of the K Kids got up and gave morning announcements and explaining what the Thirst Project was.
Right. So that was our group. If you have other ideas that I didn't get down.
oh, no, I think you covered that beautifully, but we really talked about how the K Kids learn to see from different perspectives, and all these things they do, they really connect and see and empathize with those they're serving. And so, and how important that is. And then Mike also commented, Mike Hipple, on his club members being very accepting. So they learn to be very accepting of others and welcoming of those just as they are. So, that's beautiful. We were talking about, we need more of that in the world. And that's what our K Kids youth are learning.
Yes, now I can read my writing that you have prompted me. So what Mike was saying is that he has found that his members have become much more empathetic, which is a great thing.
And we also talked about the adults learning, K Kids have no limits to what can be done. They're not afraid to try something new or step out of bounds of what we see as, oh, we can't do that. K Kids are like, why not? So we learn maybe we need to be more open and try something different and think more like a kid to do more. So they teach us to, some wonderful lessons. Anything else, team?
One thing that I heard in a couple of the examples was, and I'll use specifically an example that Al gave. Al talked about how at one of the schools, the students wanted to do create a recycling program, and that it took a lot longer than they thought it would take. And but they invited guest speakers in. They learned a lot about recycling, and it didn't go quite as planned, but the learning part is what I want to lean into right now. There is communities in the kind of in our field of what we do. There is community service, which is kind of filling needs in lots of different ways. And then taking action to address issues. and there's service learning that's done in a lot of schools. And service learning, it tends to connect the curriculum to a need out in the community. And so kids learn English, they learn reading and writing skills, or they learn about science skills, like how to test water quality. And they also serve the community by letting people know about the quality of the water in their community. So service learning is kind of deeper on the learning end. And what research shows is that service learning has very profound, good service learning has profound impact on students. So don't worry if the learning part takes longer, if the kids are really kind of understanding the issue that they're trying to address, rather than rushing to doing the service part of the whole process. So that's just kind of a takeaway I had from listening to Al's story and a few of the other ones.
Luana, several years ago, and I don't remember exactly how long, but it's been several years, K-Kids had a series of books that the clubs could order, and they were all on specific topics. One was bully prevention, one was homelessness, one I think was something that had to do with lack of food, nutrition.
Food
But the
insecurity.
kids, it was an assignment kind of thing where we could order the books, and then a certain group of the kids would kind of take that on to read the books, and then they would lead in the club to look at how they could apply the lessons learned in those books in our community, and what kinds of things could they do. Have those gone away? I haven't seen those books in several years now.
Well, they changed it up. So we were working with Penguin Publishing. Let's see. I'm forgetting the publishing house. And so what we've done is there are a similar list of books through Scholastic. And so they still got the various topics, but they don't have the supporting resources that kind of took you through the process. Because the thought was, when that was created, is to really go to schools that maybe K-Kids could do this. It was kind of focused on K-Kids. But when you think about it, if you went to a school that didn't have a service club, and they read about books, and then they went to our resources to do a service project, they might want to start a K-Kids club. So that was kind of a focus of that as well. But I still have support materials that could, the old support materials that could lead through discussion if there were books about certain topics that you wanted to get from Scholastic. It's very, yeah. I thought it was a great program, but yeah, we're not doing that specific thing anymore.
It sounds like, Al, you're asking because it was something that you found beneficial.
We were really interested in the program, and we didn't get all the books. I forget how many was in the series.
Yeah.
But we got a couple different topics, and then a couple of the different clubs. We were sharing them back and forth between the clubs. It was a little more difficult to manage, and I think we probably jumped into it as a Kiwanis club and a K-Kids club, probably without enough structure locally. But I thought the whole idea was really, really intriguing, and I think it opened the minds of some of these kids to think about problems that they know exist in our community. And it made them think about examples of things that they could maybe do to help that problem. We never got it off the ground as well as I wanted to. And then they kind of disappeared. So,
yeah.
Well, so just a couple of things about what's coming. I'm cognizant that we've been, we've gone over time, but after clubs receive the new materials this fall, we'll be working on updating our websites, and over the next year, creating more meeting kits around individual social issues. So a meeting kit around hunger and food insecurity. And there are some meeting kits already around specific topics like bullying on the website. And so we'll take a look at those, refresh them, and add other causes, resources for other causes. So it just takes time to develop good materials. But I think what you'll find in another year is that you have a more easy to navigate website that has more updated materials or easy to find materials on it as well. So that's something to look forward to. Any other
How do we
final
get the
remarks
information?
before we go?
I have a question.
Yes.
I have 2 after-school groups that are K-Kids, and I don't have any way to televise any of the meetings. So how do you do that? Do you take in your laptop and everybody gathers around the laptop?
Anna, how about will you stay on with us?
Sure. Oh, sure.
Okay, because that's quite individual. We have I think we might have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything for the good of the group?
Yeah, this is Jack. I want to mention to you that you need to be aware that some of the K-Kids are homeless and have food insecurity.
Yeah.
In Columbia, Missouri, a majority of the children get buddy packs every weekend. So they have food to eat over the weekend. And they are all fed at school. A lot of them have breakfast and lunch. So just be aware that some of the K-Kids are actually homeless and have food insecurity.
Well, the point that you bring up does, I think, illustrate how when we develop these materials and when you facilitate as advisors, there's a great sensitivity that's needed to understand that that the kids in your classrooms or in your organizations come from all walks of life, and sometimes there are a lot of assumptions made about about them. There's a lot of diversity in many different ways among your kids, and so I thank you so much for raising that point, Jack.
Mike has his hand up.
Mike, yes. Sorry about that. Yes, he does. Mike, I'm sorry, are you muted?
He's probably talking into his device.
Do we get the information? And will anything be available for us who are going to convention?
Lisa, can you answer that question?
Will we have more information for when you're going to convention? Are you talking district convention? I don't know how much we're going to have ready for Kiwanis International Convention, other than letting them know that new materials are on the way. By district convention, we're going to have some resources. Really, I think we were going for guides, like, oh, I forget what we call them, Luana, like a quick what advisors do at the beginning of the year, kind of a selection, what advisors do, what district administrators do at the beginning of the year to help them start the year off right. And if they want to share that information into session, they can. And as far as conventions, other things to use, I don't know if you saw the new videos we have for both K-Kids and Builders Club. If you go to kkids.org/advisors page and just look on that page, all the resources and everything, of course, is online and shareable.
But not the new resource.
Not the new resource.
Not until the fall.
Yeah, but I think the video is helpful. And I'm trying to think. We have an older brochure up there, but I don't know. Is that helpful, Mike? Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Thanks, Mike. Anyone else?
Lisa's raising. her hand.
I just have a quick question, and it doesn't need to be answered here, but just a suggestion. In creating these social pieces to help, food insecurity or homelessness or whatever they are, is K-Kids going to maybe partner with existing organizations that already do this kind of stuff for a living, that work with kids and educate kids? I mean, that would be my suggestion, and then you could tweak it and make it K-Kid-ish, but then you wouldn't have to write so much from scratch that you'd use.
Yeah, Lisa, I'm not sure, we haven't talked about that, but I think developing partnerships to do that makes it more complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for
Okay.
the suggestion. I think what we'll do is actually use those resources and cite those resources so that we can get them done for you all. But there may be a couple that are developed in partnership, like we have a partnership with Key Club has a couple of partnerships that may be useful for us in a few of those areas. Thank you for that suggestion.
I need to go, but I wanted to say thank you to everyone.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you, everyone. And Anna, did you want to hang on? Okay, great.
And Mike, you're going to stay
Thank
too,
you.
right?
Wonderful to see you all.
Bye, everyone.
Hopefully,
Thank
if your school year is ending,
Yeah.
here, we'll see you next year.
Thank you.
See you, Kelly.
And I'll go ahead and I'll stop recording, I guess.
Thank you.